Block cipher means you divide or group the entire bits, okay, into certain blocks, and these blocks are of fixed size blocks, okay, and then you are applying your algorithm on each blocks, okay. So instead of bit, now you have blocks. So suppose this is block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, so on so forth, okay, till block n. Now a block cipher process plain text input in a fixed size blocks, and it will going to produce a block of cipher text of equal size, okay. So suppose in one block we have, let's say, 32 bits, right? So we will get another block of cipher text C1, which is also of 32 bits, and it is corresponding to plain text B1, okay. Similarly, you get C2, C3, and so on. Okay, so this is what block cipher is. Rest everything is same. As we are dealing with symmetric cipher, keys are same at both the ends. Okay, the only difference is previously we are giving one bit at a time to the algorithm. Now we will give a group of bits or a block to the algorithm, and the entire algorithm is designed to work on a block of data. Okay, so these are called block ciphers. Now, let me give you the first algorithm, or maybe you can say a turning point in the history of crypto system, is from the introduction of data encryption standard. Okay, DES. You might have came across this word previously as well. DES. DES is a very popular algorithm, and this was supposed to be the first algorithm which was issued in 1977. Okay, and it has been made a data encryption standard at that time by NIST. Okay, so this particular cipher is a block cipher. Okay, and the size of block is 64 bits. In each block, it has 64 bits, right? So it encrypt block, not bits. It encrypt the entire block of 64 bit, and the key that is used by DES is also 64 bit, right? So 64 bit block is encrypted by 64 bit key. All right, and obviously, as we discussed, output is also 64 bit cipher text. Okay? So the entire message was divided into 64 bits of blocks, and then the algorithm is applied on blocks. It is considered to be product cipher. If you can recall from our lecture on types of crypto system or types of symmetric crypto system, we have discussed, we have two types: transposition and substitution. DES is an algorithm which actually considered into product cipher, means it use transposition as well as substitution, while processing or while encryption. Okay, so it performs both substitution and transposition. So generally we call transposition as permutation. Okay, so whenever I use permutation, it means we are somehow rearranging the bits. Okay, all right. Now, this particular cipher consists of 16 iterations. Till now, whatever we have seen, whatever ciphers we have discussed, they are only one round cipher. Only one operations we perform on the plain text and we get the cipher text. But in this particular algorithm, we have 16 iterations. Okay, in each iteration, these are also called round functions. Okay, so we have 16 round functions, and in each round function, the key we need is 48-bit key. Okay, so we call it 48-bit round key. It is generated from the user supplied key. So user will supply one key of 64-bit, and the algorithm will generate 48-bit keys. How many 48-bit keys? 16 48-bit keys. Okay, using the 64-bit key, right? So let's delve deeper and understand how DES actually works. Right. So this is the eagle view of the algorithm, right? Very abstract view of the algorithm. And as we go along, we will actually go inside each and every box and see what is there inside, right? But if I have to present an abstract view of the entire algorithm, how it works, this is the diagram. Okay. So as I told you earlier, the algorithm takes 64-bit plain text as an input, and it will return 64-bit cipher text as an output. Okay. And what is the process of conversion? So along with 64-bit, we will also provide 64-bit key to the system. Okay. Now what happened? First of all, the block or the 64 bits that are entering into the encryption algorithm DES, what we will do is first we will initially permutate it. Okay, transposition, somehow change the rearrange it in some manner. Okay, so initial permutation is done. Obviously, transposition does not change the number of bits, right? We have learned this previously as well. So 64 bits are inserted from here, and 64 bits are the output of the initial permutation function. Then comes round 1. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, we have 16 rounds. Okay, 1, 2 till 16. So the plain text that we are having, or the data that we would like to encrypt, will undergo all these 16 rounds. And in each round, what is the input for each round? First input is definitely the 64-bit text, that is, of 64 bits that are coming from the previous functions, as well as a sub key. Why sub key? Because the key k is 64-bit long, whereas I am just taking k1, a subset of this key, or a sub key, which was generated by performing few operations, and the size of the sub key is 48-bit. Okay, so rounds, all the rounds will take 64-bit input of the text or the bits that they have to encrypt, and 48 bits of key. Okay, and then they will generate 64 bits again. Okay, and this procedure keeps following till round 16. Okay, now you may ask that if the bit is 64-bit, how we can, how do we decide that which 48-bit we have to select? So yes, let me explain you that thing. So first of all, we have the 64-bit key with us. We will apply PC1, permuted choice 1. What this function is basically do is, so if we closely look at the 64-bit key, which was given as an input, it also have parity bits, right? So in general, 56 bits are corresponding to the key, and 8 are the parity bits. Okay, so the key looks something like this. I'm just writing in decimal. Okay, so first bit, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth bit. Okay, then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16th bit. Then 17 till 24. So all the 8th bit of this key are considered as a parity bit. Right? So what permutation choice 1 is doing, it will just remove all the parity bits from the key. Okay, so every 8th bit was somehow ignored, and rest of the bits, that is remaining 56 bits, will be the output of this particular function. Okay, and this is how we convert 64-bit key into 56-bit key. Right. After that, what we will do is, now we have to supply different key each time. Okay, so you have to keep that thing in mind, and how to create these differences. So the developers of DES decided to make the left circular shift a key function which can generate different keys each time, right? So with this 56 key, we will perform left circular shift. Okay, so if we have 1 0 1 0 1, it will become 0 1 0 1 0, something like that, right? So it is shifted by 1 left, right? in this manner. Okay. Now, how many bits we have to make a shift? It depends on for which round we are providing the key. If you are providing the key for round 1, round 2, round 9, and round 16, you have to do 1 bit left shift. For all the other remaining rounds, you have to do 2-bit left shift. Okay. So since we are providing it for the first round, we will do 1-bit left shift. Again, the shifting will keep the size as it is. So we have 56-bit. Then we have PC2, also known as permuted choice 2. This is somehow known to be compression permutation. Okay. Questions?
Ma'am?
So PC2 is known as compression permutation. Why compression permutation? If you closely observe, the input to PC2 is 56-bit and the output is 48-bit. Okay. So what PC2 is doing, it is somehow rearranging or randomly picking 8 bits out of 56-bit, and the remaining 48-bit will become the key or sub key for round 1. Okay, this is how it works, right? So same pattern repeat. Whatever is the answer we get from circular shift, that will become input for when we have to generate key for the next round. Since this is round 2, we will again do a 1 bit left shift. Okay, we get 56 bits. Now 56 bits, PC2 will compress it, remove 8 bits randomly from the given 56 bits, and that will become the K2 or the key for round 2. Okay, so we will repeat this process. The important part here is, see, for each round there are actually different keys which are getting generated. Although we are using only one key, but we are performing different operations, so that in order to generate different keys for each round. Okay, so this is how DES work. Now there is some operation which will happen in round 1, so on till round 16. Once we get output from round 16, when all the rounds are completed, okay, then what we will do is we will do 32-bit swap. Okay, so we have 64 bits output. Now 64-bit is divided into 2 halves, left and right, and we will just swap left part and right part, and that will become the input for our inverse initial permutation. So we did some permutation, we will inverse that permutation here, but before that we will swap this part, and the output of inverse initial function will become our ciphertext. Okay, so this is, I am just enciphering only one block, and one block consists of 64 bits. Right, so you get the abstract view of how this algorithm works. Okay, so now let's zoom the round and see what is there in each round. Okay, just for the reference, keep in mind that the input to round is, so what will happen in one round is same for each and every round, right? So I will explain you one round, what is happening in each one round particularly. Okay, so the input to this is 64 bits, and the size of key that is coming is 48-bit, right? Now let's see what will happen in round. So here 64 bits are coming, okay, as an input. Now this is the inside view of round function. Okay, this is also known as round function. The 64-bit which is coming, round function will divide the 64 bits into left and right part, right? So this is called left 32, and the right 32 is called R32, suppose. Okay, so the 64 bits are divided into 2 halves. We perform few operations on the right part. Okay, whatever is the output of this particular function, right? So just abstract it for a while. Whatever is the output of this function that we will perform on the right side 32-bit, we will take left side 32-bit and XOR the output of this function, and then get the final output. Okay, So this is how it works. So let's I mean, discuss it into a bit detail. This part we already covered, right? How the key has been generated. So we get 48-bit key. Now this 48-bit key is XORed with some 48 bits. Now what are these 48 bits? We have 64 bits initially. Then we picked right side of the 64 bits. That is right, the right side 32 bits of the 64 bits. Now, these 32 bits will undergo expansion permutation. If you remember, in key, we have seen something called compression permutation, which will randomly pick 8 bits and, remaining is the output. Okay. And then randomness is defined actually, right? So for now, just assume that they will somehow remove 8 keys while converting 56-bit key to 48-bit key. Here the reverse is happening actually. This is somehow expansion permutation. What expansion permutation will do? In 32 bits, it will put 16 more bits, okay, and make it 48-bit long. Are you getting my point? Yes, in 32 bits, expansion permutation is a function. So there is a table, okay, called E table, and based on that table, basically 16 bits are inserted into the 32 bits, and the output of this particular function is 48 bits, right? Now these 48 bits are XORed with the 48 bits of key that is coming in this round. XOR operation is a simple operation. It will generate the output of 48 bit. Then we have something called substitution box or substitution function, right? If you remember, the DES is product cipher. It is using transposition as well as substitution. We are already seeing lots of transposition, right? So wherever permutation is written, it is nothing but a transposition is happening. Now this is a box which is responsible for substitution. Okay, so we perform some substitution, but this substitution is such that it will convert 48 bit into 32 bit again. Okay, so with this substitution box, 48 bits are converted into 32 bits. Then we apply permutation again on the output, and whatever is the output of this entire round will be XORed with the left 32 bits that we have separated in the beginning. And then whatever is the output of this XOR will become the right part of the next round. Okay, and the right part of this round will become the left part of the next round. Okay, so this is how transposition and substitution are going on. So this is quite simple. I mean, the round is in that sense quite simple to understand at least, right? So we are just expanding 32 bits into 48 bits depending upon the E table. Then we perform XOR with the key. Then there is something called S box, which is an important thing. We will discuss it in a minute. Then whatever is the output, the important part is it will convert 48 bits into 32 bits, right? So let's delve deeper into substitution box and let's see how it is doing this conversion. Okay. So this is how one substitution box looks like. Okay, we are here. Okay, so we have this XOR. The key and the 48 bits are XORed. Okay, and then given to the substitution box. Now the substitution box looks something like this. There are 8 boxes inside one substitution box. Okay. Now the 48 bits that are there are divided into 8 blocks of 6 bits each. Okay, so there are 6, 6, 6 like that, 8 blocks. Okay, and therefore there are 8 S functions inside the S box. Okay, you can also call it as X boxes. So there are 8 X boxes inside each bigger substitution box of each round. Okay, now what this substitution box will do, each box will take 6 bits as an input. and return 4 bits as the output. This is the job of substitution box, right? So we have 48 bits. 48 bits are divided into 6 bits each, and 8 such distribution has been done. Okay, and each S1 blocks will output 4 bits. So 4 into 8 such boxes, we get 32 bits as an output. Okay, and this is how 48 bits are converted into 32 bit. Now the question is how the S box is converting 4 bit into 6 bits into 4 bits, right? So this particular slide will take you inside each X boxes, and this is how the conversion is done. So we have this 6 bits, right, in each S boxes. What we will do is we have to construct a table. Now, what is the size of the table? What we will do is we will take the extreme points of the bits, like so the first and the last bit. Okay, so 1 and 0, first and the last bit. So these are the 2 bits. How many possible combination with 2 bits? It is 2 to the power 2, that is 4 combination. So this will become row of the substitution box. Okay, and this is taken from the first and the last bit of the 6 bits. Okay, remaining 4 bits, we have 2 to the power 4 combination, that is 16 combination. This will become the column of the S box. Okay, so we will have a table, S box table, or we can call it as X box, with 4 rows, each corresponding to 1 combination of these 2 bits. And then we have 16 columns. Okay, so whenever you have to do a conversion, suppose these are the 6 bits, you have to convert this 6 bit. What X box will do? It will read first and the last bit. This is 1 and 0. 1 and 0 is 2. So we will just pick 2 in the row. Okay, then what are the remaining bits? Remaining bits are 1 0 0 1. It is nothing but 9, right? So we have to follow 9 in the column. Okay, and whatever written here, okay, it will become the 4 bits that you will give as an output. So since 12 is written here, the output of this X box is 1 1 0 1. Okay, now how to make the entries which are there in the S boxes? So the S boxes entries are from 0 to 15. Okay, what are the entries? This is not open. Okay, so the S box design is not open. Okay, but whatever is written in the table, it is from 0 to 15, right? So that we can get 4 bits out of it. Okay, so this is how each S box will convert 6 bit into 4 bit, and hence, you know, we can say that yes, this S box will convert 48 bits into 32 bits, right? And finally, we perform some permutation, which will keep it 32 bits only. Then we will perform XOR from the left side, and then this will become the right side for the next round, and the right side of this round will become the left side of the next round. Okay, this is how DES works.